Hello, hello, everybody. Hi. Hi,
Hi,
Hello.
Tim.
good to see you,
Hi.
Dustin and Jim and Tim. We're so excited to have Marissa here today. We're going to dive right into our first questions. I'm not on camera because I'm finishing up at a doctor's office, but who's got our first question for Marissa?
I'm here. I'm so here and ready to answer all the questions.
How was the cruise?
It was the best. It was the absolute best. I worked a little bit because, we want to be able to write off the trip, right? So we have the appropriate amount of things documented, right? I did actually an impromptu mastermind on the ship with a couple people. It was really funny. So you ever think that there's like no accidents? I think there's no accidents. So I go to very little special meetings on the ship. It's like for those of us that don't drink or indulge. And so it ended up being really beautiful to like hang out with a couple people that were sober and ran companies and all kinds of fun stuff. But man, is being on a boat with people for like 10 days, you get to know all the personalities for sure. And my daughter is my little twin because lots of people knew who she was and lots of people knew me. So that was kind of fun. So that was a great time. It was really lovely. And next week, I move my daughter to Utah. So I'm excited. Hi, Erin. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Shout
Welcome,
out to everybody on the
welcome.
call. If you're here, throw your video cameras on. We
I
want to see
know.
you.
Did I see
The visual
Landon?
dynamic is one of our
Did I
founding
see
tenets of
Captain Landon?
communication. There's Landon. I just wanted to see handsome ass Landon. That's all I was after. So good to see
Where's the
you,
tattoos? All
buddy.
right.
Landon looks like he's in a restaurant, so he's like, I'm not unmuted, but you can see
Is
me.
that a Panera Bread? No,
I
just
know.
kidding.
That's my guess.
It's giving. It's
It's the
giving
lobby
It
of a
early.
is.
Marriott
It
Courtyard.
is.
I
What
love
is
it.
it, Panera Bread? That's amazing.
I'm not, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm here to answer questions related to maybe social media, marketing, strategy, kinds of fun things. I look at it like, oh, Tim, ready? Let's go. All right, Tim. I love it. Tim's the
I feel
best
like I asked
dude.
all the questions, but first of all, Marissa, I wanted to thank you for your social media post, how just authentic you are. It's very refreshing, and I know that you have zero intent to offend anyone, and if anyone's offended, it's because of it's their problem. But it's just very inspiring and refreshing what you post, and so I just wanted to say thank you. I'm very grateful
Oh,
for someone of your
yeah.
caliber that does that. So that's awesome. I love those.
Can I
Uh,
tell you that
yeah.
7 years ago, I did not post as much as I do now. I did the like required things, and I was at an event. There was seven of us in a room with Gary Vee, and I liked some of the things he said. I liked, and I didn't like others, but I figured I might as well just kind of bring my whole self to work. So it's better because then when people research me, if they're offended by stuff, then I'm not wasting my time in a sales process with someone that's going to be offended. It's like you see is what you get. And if it offends you, then don't even book the like strategy call. So it's just as much, inclusion as it is exclusion, right? So
Yeah, I appreciate it. And my actual question is, so I'm starting to roll out several one-to-many projects. And what is considered to be too much social media, post for like say I have two or three things going on at the same time, and I'm
So,
kind of,
so okay, the biggest mistake is assuming that anybody sees your stuff the first time you post it. Like that's just the thing. So, what's the I mean, Alex Hormozy puts out 150 pieces of content a week, right? So there's like levels to, what you do. So I think one, you can repost the same thing multiple times. So like great example, if you post something on a Monday, right? If you notice the way that people interact with algorithms, it might take a couple days for people to actually see it. So you could the following Tuesday repost the same post that you did the previous Monday on the Tuesday. Then the week after that, you could use that post on a Wednesday. I call it kind of a waterfall, right? Because people don't actually see it. And if you're not sure, you can actually just run an engagement test on your LinkedIn or on your Facebook and be like, "Hey, I'm running a test. Who's seeing this?" And what you're probably going to notice is that one or two people on the first day are going to be like, I see it, right? And then all of a sudden, a couple days later, you'll have maybe 5 or 6 people that are like, I see it. And then like a couple days more from that, then you'll have more and more. So most people, again, posting, if you have team and talent to help you automate, great. Automate wherever possible, but also like there's no such thing as posting too much. Now, the thing I would add is that what you do post must be good. So if it's all garbage, if it's just crap, if it's only buy my stuff, don't do that. But I kind of look at it like 3-to-1 ratio, like 3-to-1, 3 points of value or posts of value to every one ask that you make. So.
That's perfect. Exactly what I needed to hear right now at this point.
Okay,
Thank you.
awesome. No problem. What's up, Mr. Blakemore? I see you're there.
Marvelous Marissa, how are you today?
Fabulous. I'm so fabulous.
I am working on a project to acquire roofing companies
Sure.
in the area to eventually create like a regional roofing company, a regional powerhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a list. A friend of mine went into Zoom Info and pulled a list of about 535 roofing companies with owners and owner information and all sorts of stuff that fit in my buy box.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been I've been advised a couple of different ways to start approaching these people. And one of the, what I'm working on right now, it's been started out or some of the advice I've gotten is to start out with just a direct mail piece that says, "Hi, my name's Jim Blakemore," a real short one, an introduction piece, who I am, a brief intro of who I am, and that, why I'm writing them. And then follow up with email, text, that sort of thing. And then the other side has been build a marketing campaign using using marketing pillars, a 2-page sales letter, build value instead of trying to just jump right out and say, "Hey, I'm looking to buy roofing companies." Hey, I'm acquiring companies, but I've also got this value that I add to I'd love to talk to you about what your needs are and the possibility of maybe working a transaction with you. What is your advice?
Okay, my counsel, not my advice.
Your counsel, yes. What is your? Oh, and by the way, speaking of counsel, I'm going to be at Prosperity Camp.
Okay, cool. We'll be there. So 2 things. I'm going to let you know how this lands and how this feels. Okay. So if I want to sell my roofing company, what do I care about? If I own a roofing company, why do I want to sell it? Start there. Okay. Because it's cool to tell them, like, if it was me and I wanted to blend these strategies into something easy and affecting, I might buy a domain that says, I buy roofing companies.com or sell me your roofing company.com.
I have it. I already have it.
Perfect. Right. And then I would start with just like, are you over it? Like, hit to the pain. Okay. So especially, are you looking at buying from California or where are you? Where?
Arizona East.
Arizona East. Okay. Yeah.
In the Sun Belt.
I love the idea of the direct mailing piece. I love the direct mailing piece. Oh, thank you for the best. I would look at like 5 bullets of like, I buy roofing companies. If you inherited your parents' roofing company, if you just list the 5 scenarios, the idyllic scenarios that you would want, like what your dream deal looks like, right? Mm-hmm. Then you go into who you are and what you do. Because really, selfishly, people just are in their own world and everyone else lives in it. So like, if you speak to the pain and you hook them with something that's like, oh yeah, I don't want to own this anymore. Or maybe there's a big resistance to selling to private equity. Like, so like capitalize on that. Like most roofing like they don't want to sell to private equity. They want to sell to whoever's going to keep their legacy alive. Right.
That's
so
part of my
get
big
to those.
trust.
Yeah. And then you could have that direct mail piece, right, have a QR code that went to the website with your video sales letter of like, hi, I'm Jim, I buy companies, you know, just as fast as possible. Like it should be like 30 seconds or less, Jim. And then, you know, give them an opportunity to book time, right? And
Got
then you could have like a follow-up sequence. But I wouldn't bother trying to email or text anybody unless they raise their hand and said yes, right? And then maybe it's like submit your deal here or something on the website where they can upload the deals of like what they've got. And then I would focus, like if you were going to do advertising or marketing, I would do a budget or campaign that was targeting kind of roofing companies in those domains so that they would want to submit their deal, right? Because that's what we're seeing right now. Third generation doesn't want the business, which is
That's-
stupid because that's the direction that everything's going to go, like specialty. But that would be my suggestion, is to blend that into something way simpler for you, right?
Got it.
Where they have to submit their deal stuff.
Mm.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No problem. That's why I'm here. Hi, Bart. How are you?
Hi,
Nice.
sorry to be late.
No, you're fine.
Okay,
You're gonna
You're
learn
done,
that
baby. It's your done.
I'm notorious for being 5 to 10 minutes, and I've gotten lots of lectures on how it's disrespectful to other
I
people.
don't want to waste your time. I'm
Yeah.
just struggling with a lot of details that are extremely complex and time consuming
Mm-hmm.
that have to do with trying to get my property back on track. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
just try to do it in 1 minute or less. Just trying to get temporary power. I have a series of pumps that dewater my property that keep it from sliding off the hill. I've been working on it since February. I cleared the land. I am dealing with the city, the county, the building department, the Department of Water and Power, trying to coordinate them to say yes. And it is a challenge. I have a list of about 8 people that I'm trying to work with. And it would really take only a couple days and maybe $1,000, but the way they structure it, the inspections and stuff, is close to $10,000 to do it. So and I don't want to waste. I've taken my minute, so that's what I wake up with, and then I've got all kinds of other business and important stuff to do. But all of these things are just a world that I wish I wasn't a part of right now.
I'm sorry to hear that, Bart.
Yeah, it's
And
okay. It's all right.
I actually thought of you the other day. I saved a social media post and I was going to send it to Robin to get it to
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
But it was really funny. There was an interesting kind of like, is a TikTok post about a guy in a community, and he's like, okay, we have our Ring cameras, but we need a new version of Neighborhood Watch. And I thought of you and Whistle, because I was like, it's a neighborhood in Woodland Hills that kept getting robbed, and so the community has kind of formed a 2025 version of Neighborhood Watch. But I literally thought of you
Right.
because I was like, that sounded like Whistle could be cool
Mhm.
for that. Anyway, that was
Yeah.
just something that happened the other day. So
Yeah. I wish
Just
I was
one.
working on that full time right now.
yeah,
and,
right.
I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, I
but-
have a friend whose house on Carbon Beach
Okay.
was done, and so they're having, coastal commission, all that fun stuff. So
Okay. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
where that is. Did they lose their house in the fire or no?
yes, they did. Yeah,
Oh.
they'd only owned it like I think a year.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to describe, but it's like the biggest administrative challenge, and at the same time, all of your infrastructure is gone. So
Yeah.
everybody wants your reports. Where's your soils reports? Where are your,
Mhm.
where's your permits for all this stuff?
Mhm.
Well, it all burned in the fire. Well, you're gonna have to go get it. It's like, where do you get it? So
Man, I'm sorry.
That's
Well,
all right.
I can forward you. So I find shame works really well. This is actually a really great marketing tactic for everybody. If you're
Okay.
not getting your way, okay, there's great ways to leverage this type of story in the media to like force your politicians to act because they like don't like looking bad. So I can send you like a couple of ideas, Bart, but this works for anybody, by the way. Like this works for like I have a problem with Delta Airlines or I have a problem with something local. Like I can usually get on the news and they'll do a story on it because it's a good filler story, but it also highlights humanity. So anything that's kind of local, like, it's like X amount of months later, the chaos of trying to get this together, like there's something that you can message around that.
I've had about 6 articles done so far on it.
Yeah.
But it's all in sort of an underground paper. But, I'm dealing with a city and a mayor who is under attack by the president of the United States, is under attack by, all these other sources. Is like, so what? They don't, they're not unresponsive to she had claimed, the mayor had claimed that they were going to waive all the permitting fees.
Oh yeah, we all saw that. We saw
that
that.
didn't happen at all. That's totally untrue. And she'll say, well, nobody approved it. I just claimed it. But Department of Water and Power and them, they don't honor that at all. It's like they'll just hang up on you. That's all.
Yeah. And I'm relentless. Aaron knows that, right? I had a situation where I was trying to get to a company once to respond, and I set a fax to go every 5 minutes. And so there was an auto fax every 5 minutes, and then they called me and said, "Can you please stop faxing? We'll take care of it." So like sometimes you just got to get a little gangster. This is like also with marketing. I tried to get a meeting with somebody at Salesforce, and I did the same thing where I set an auto fax, but that fax went every 2 minutes. And I swear after like 22 minutes, I got a phone call from the guy. He's like, "I've never had anybody use a fax machine to try to get a hold of me." And I'm like, "But we're on the phone. Can I do the project?" So like, everything is fine. I see Landon laughing at me. Landon's laughing at me.
I do have our city council person and 2 of her deputies working on this for me, but they still are powerless. Okay. The DWP in LA, our utility, is its own for-profit organization owned by the city of Los Angeles. And they are relentless, and they're cruel.
I'm sorry, Bart. That sucks.
So
we all feel the pain. We love you.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem. Sir, is there anybody else? Aaron, Landon? I mean, you look so perfectly poised where you're sitting. Anybody? Brooke. Hi, Brooke. I didn't even see you come in. So I thought I could share something kind of interesting that I learned the other day. Just passing it along to anybody and any of you that are using ChatGPT, right? So I think Howard touched on it on one mastermind, that if you're putting sensitive information into ChatGPT, that none of that information is really private or privileged, right? So what's fascinating, I think, is, again, the cutoff was apparently Gen Xers, elder millennials, and boomers are using ChatGPT like Google, and younger, millennials and Gen Z are using ChatGPT like as their therapist, as their coach, as their mentor, right? So what does that mean contextually? Well, like if you're in a lawsuit potentially with somebody and you're trying to Google or ChatGPT solutions or whatever, like that information can be accessed, right? It's not protected and nothing is private. So I think a lot of people don't think about this as they're uploading like their medical records or their labs or different things. So I just encourage people to like develop code names for things. If you upload a document that is personal and private information, to block your name and give it a pseudonym, right? There's just things that people aren't thinking about. Like there's actually kind of a lawsuit happening right now, and the company is like suing an employee, and the employee like basically prompted everything into ChatGPT, so they were able to pull the history and show that, like, again, none of that information is private or privileged. So just like a friendly reminder, as you're using all these AI tools and things and develop these deeper, like, I'm going to call it a relationship, right? Like in some ways that none of that information is privileged. So just fun times with AI, just putting it out there.
Good advice.
I think a lot of people don't think about that when they're asking questions or even specific to their business and their business models. And so like just having an awareness of that.
What's the legal agreement with that? Can they sell your information, or it's just legal authorities can access it if they want to?
So both are there. The one thing you can turn off, which I encourage people to do, which I don't allow my queries and my stuff to train the model. Some people are fine with that. I turn that off in my settings. So I don't know that most people know that they can do that. So if you're in your, excuse me, if you're in your chat GPT, you can actually turn off the ability again for, I'll show you guys where it is just so you can visually get an eye on it. Oh, sorry. If you're in chat GPT and you go to data controls, see right here where it says improve the model for everyone, I have that off. So just as a friendly reminder, I'm improving it for no one. So, so
What a
that's one
sneaky
thing.
way to just ask for everything data-wise on there. Just, you want to help everybody else out? You're like, what?
Yeah, and so like most people don't realize that that's an option. So, you know, like
That's good to know. I'll
like if
keep that
you're
in mind.
like
Yeah.
OpenAI is like people are asking it like, you know, like it wasn't going to be that long before people used it for devious things, right? So obviously just an awareness there.
I have been using it a lot and really appreciate it. And I'm involved in a number of legal matters. This is on another side of my life. And
Yeah.
I've found great hostility from the attorneys on me using it. So everything they're telling me, I go and chat
Yeah.
GPT it and share it with them. And they're saying, well, just because it's there doesn't make it right. And I'm saying, okay, but that's what it says. So tell me where it's wrong. Well, that's going to be 14 hours and I'll get back to you in
Yeah.
2 weeks. It's like, we really should replace our legal system with a legal version of Chat GPT, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah. And
In
again,
both parties, at least it could be for arbitration. You know, everybody used to agree on jams or, you know, one of the arbitration boards in their contracts. If you agreed on a formal website that's, you know, a legal
Yeah.
chat or legal AI site, it would save everybody a lot of
Mhm.
time and money. And nobody likes the legal system but the lawyers that work in it.
For sure. Well, and I just bring that to everyone's awareness because even in the past 90 days, like the data that's been released has talked about, again, how people are using it. And people are like this really deep, like parasocial relationships. But also, what's fascinating in like these new businesses and new business models and things that are happening. Like I was talking to my friend in venture capital, and she said from like her marketing perspective, when they would inject a capital into a company, there is usually like a team of 10. Now it's a team of 2 with like 8 AI employees. So just cool shit. I like that. Hey, what's up, Aaron? A Boogie?
Oh, did
I
I
see.
raise my hand?
You
Nice.
did. I see it.
I was hover over debating my raising my hand since the hover apparently raised my hand for me. I'll ask the question. But happy to answer Jim's question on here too. It's the second week. Jim's question is asking about the next mastermind. So just to take the mic and start with that, because I tend to anyways. The next mastermind for everybody is in Scottsdale, Arizona, in Phoenix. It is the second week of October, starting Monday the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th. So you want to arrive on Sunday the 12th per the normal stuff. We'll have an arrival thing, whatever, you know, reception, things like that. We're talking about some optional activities on Sunday, like golf, spa day, some fun stuff. So if you're interested, you want to be a champion for those, hit me up directly on that for any fun activities. But again, it's the 13th, 14th, and 15th of October. And we'll probably have the registration page available next week if it's not already maybe out there. And I'm over promising on that. Maybe Marissa's gonna yell at me later for doing that, but I think we're probably good. So
No, by next week it'll be up and then you guys can register and do all the things.
it's an awesome time of year for Arizona. It's still warm, but it's not deadly, right? And yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there. And as always, we have the Bring Your Business Bestie referral program on here. So happy to get into the economics of it later, but more than anything, the best community members come from our community members. So if you guys have friends and referrals, please, please, please send them over. We have a few spots, but we're pretty excited. This one should sell out pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, that was too long on that, but hopefully that answered your question, Jim. My question for you, Marissa. Good, thanks, Jim. we paid everybody. We paid Jim to cue that question out for us earlier. Just kidding, just kidding. Marissa, my question to you is, you're a killer entrepreneur. You have done a lot of crazy things over your career. You help others with projects and an advisory, consultant role these days. You, like me, you have your hands on the wheel of a handful of other projects. Where what gets you up in the morning as an entrepreneur? Like, where do you find the alignment of mojo, right? Because you work on so many different things, so the passion can't necessarily come from the projects. I can't imagine. It doesn't for me necessarily. So, like, where's that drive for you come from? Like,
I I like a puzzle. So I don't know if anyone else likes puzzles. So I like solving puzzles and I like looking at problems from like a different lens. So like a great example, like today when I got on here this morning, I have a client that I put into kind of like a little 6-month program with me. And I developed this program. It's kind of a lower end thing, but it doesn't require a lot of me. Well, they get 2 calls a month. I'm not really doing that much. But I had someone and she's a great business. She does, storytelling and brand building for nonprofits. But you guys know nonprofits don't have a lot of money, right? And so we were looking at this thing that she was trying to sell. And I was like, I think if you take it and you make it a group program, you can get 10 to 15 nonprofits in here because your cost to run the program, you're saying it's 24,000 for the year. Well, no one can hire a marketing director for that, right? So if we group all these companies together, maybe we can train people on one side how to do some of these tasks and you can get money for that. And then we can sell this as a group program. And so by the time we got off the call, right, she was like, thanks for helping me think bigger. Thanks for helping me get out of like my brain. Thanks for putting it into a punch list of things that I could actually do. And I didn't even know these things were options. Like most people don't know that they can take something that they do in their business, create a training program around it, and get paid to apprentice people to take that, right? And that's what
all
I
right,
love.
so that happens, but I'm still going to challenge you back to my
I love that.
So
That's the
that
happy
happens.
place.
You go through it. When
Mhm.
you go bing at the end, why? Why do you light up? Is it
Because
puzzle? Is it the person? Is it the
the
smile on the other
puzzle,
end?
it's the puzzle has been solved, but also the person has gone from being in extreme overwhelm to being like, oh, this is like we've made this tactical and tangible, and it's actually not that hard.
All
So
right,
like,
my follow-up question is now,
yeah,
what
that's the
percentage
stuff.
of the time do you spend time in your life solving other people's puzzles versus helping solve your own?
Oh my God. I would say it's like 80-20. I do a lot around my own, like I'm very clear with my own personal development. Like I have coaches. I'm in a program. It's a 100K club, and it's 100K a year to be in, and it's very focused on my own development and my own kind of what I call like gifts and gaps. Like where do I suck and where am I great? I don't, unfortunately, like if there's a gap and it's a fixable, easy gap, then I work on that. If it's not, like I never understood again the why am I going to work on fixing something where I suck? I'm just going to amplify what I'm really good at. Right. But this is when I say I have a team. I have a trauma therapist, I have a shrink, I have a med guy, I have all the things and my coach. And here's the thing, they all talk. We get together and we have like meetings, and because they're my team, right? Like and Aaron knows, I think, and Tony knows, like every year I have maybe 2 days where I wake up. Does anyone ever have this where you wake up and you go, nope, not today? Like it's a dark day. Getting out of bed feels hard. Doing the basic things is tough. Like I don't want to do it. And instead of fighting it, I just go with it. Like, but again, I am a person that has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to understand my wounds, my gaps, where I get triggered, like how that shows up. So like I get triggered in I like being invited in, right? So if someone invites me in, that's awesome. But if I feel like I have to force my way in, I don't like that, right? That's like a wound for me. Or like it's just, but I think most people don't do that. Like most people don't like I mean, I spend a lot of time on it, but I think like someone told me early on that like you're only as good as your ability to maintain and manage the level of stress that you have. And you guys know, entrepreneurs, we can carry more stress than the average person. And we hold like it's something we kind of brag about in some cases, but that doesn't mean it's good stress and that it's good on our bodies, right? Like that's, so, and I got like the health people, like the Mariahs of the world that do the health stuff for me, right? So I've got like health, mindset, mental, all the things.
You only have 2 days a year where that happens to you?
Yeah.
Got a team.
Yeah.
You just heard why. She's got a team.
Yeah,
Well,
but
thank you.
yeah, like I'm very on, like I don't think people talk about that though, Erin. No one really talks about like everyone talks about when it's great, but what happens when it sucks?
Well,
Like,
my one short comment is I think there's lots of puzzles in our lives. You talked about a very important one, right? That self-care puzzle, that stress puzzle, that there's lots of them. You and I had a conversation around personal economics, right? That's a puzzle.
Oh yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
one of the things, but I digress. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for
Sure.
sharing some of that. And then what a terrible question to ask with 5 minutes because it's such a big question and
No,
that probably
all good.
begets a conversation. But thank you again for sharing. So
It's a great
Yeah.
conversation. Thank you, Marissa, for that.
Yeah. We used to do it.
Because you're naming what so many people aren't willing to talk about.
Yeah, so with 30 seconds, because we're a minute over, we used to do a call, like me and a bunch of my friends that were entrepreneurs called Mental Health Mondays. But it really wasn't a call. Like we just had a group text and everyone would put an emoji of what the week looked like. So you might have a pirate flag or like a thing, but it was just a way of like checking in with other humans to be like, how's our mental health this Monday? Like
I have retainer clients for that purpose.
Yeah.
They retain me for that purpose because they have
Yep.
send them
updated
emojis. I need to get paid to send people emojis. Come
my
on.
emojis. We actually have calls. We don't just do it.
Yeah.
No. It's going to be
Yeah.
a daily emoji. It's 99 cents a week. That's the new app.
We
Aaron
should
sent you an emoji of the day. Today's
just
emoji
do
is
it.
But if you
So,
look at the stats, and maybe we do another AMA on this, if you look at the
Yeah.
stats, Marissa, again, in all of your high performance, the beauty of your share is that you normalize reality of high performance, the cost of high performance,
Mhm.
the cost
And
of
then,
excellence.
unfortunately, it takes a greater toll on women than it does men,
Yes.
which is really annoying. But that being said, I think we should all just put an emoji for how we're feeling today in the WhatsApp group and then confuse the hell out of everyone else.
Oh, let's
Let's do that. Done.
Nobody gets to explain why.
Just put an emoji and then
Landon's
like
is going to
say
be a
that thing.
bowl of soup from Panera Bread.
Thanks to Our Lady of Mystery. We'll keep the mystery going.
All right. Love you guys. I'll talk to you
Love
later.
you.